Hey everybody, and welcome to In the Running, the podcast where we bring your local elections to life.
We're your hosts, May Dapkus and Olivia Self, two rising juniors at Mountain Brook High School.
We started this podcast to help inform local voters on who is running in their local elections and what those positions do on a citywide scale.
So, we're interviewing candidates and asking the real questions about their goals, values, and what they want to do for your communities across Alabama.
No spin, no speeches, just honest conversation with the people who want to lead your city.
This is In the Running.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to In the Running. We're your hosts, Olivia Self
And May Dapkus, and today we are sitting down with Mr. Gerald Garner, who's running for Mountain Brook City Council Place 2.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so first we want to know a little bit about yourself. Can you tell us about your hobbies or activities, family?
Yeah, so first thing, outside of campaigning, right, because campaign brain is what's going on right now pretty much, but I'm a partner in a wealth management firm. That my partner and I have been in the investment world for 27, almost 28 years. And so we started our own company after working for big Wall Street companies, I guess, for 25 years. We're slow learners, but we decided to start our own, and we've had that now. We're going on 2 years, so it's great. But then I love family time, love hanging out. As I told you earlier before we started this whole thing, is I have two daughters and a wife, two girl dogs. And so I love hanging out with families. But beyond that, if I have a chance, I'll play golf occasionally. I'm not good at it by any means because I don't play enough, but I play guitar. Every once in a while I do it. I like to draw. I like to read all types of stuff, right? Whether it's fiction, history, boring economic stuff. I mean, whatever. I'll keep reading anything I can read sometimes just to sort of keep me occupied, right? So I don't get too old and get too slow. So I'll do those things. But, other than that, also I'm a big gun guy. And so in other words, I'll go to the shooting range whenever I have the opportunity. So it's just a normal guy. Likes to go out there and just do normal stuff when you're outside of the office,
So how'd you get into the whole public service scene?
Oh, that's a great story. So 18 years ago, so I've been serving the city of Mount Brook for 18 years. I did about 10, 11 years on the Parks and Recreation Board and then on the Board of Zoning Adjustment. Of course, now in my first term, we're finishing up my first term as city council. But it really started almost 18 years ago. I was with my oldest daughter now, who's in college, but we were at one of the parks. And I was looking around going, this is pretty cool. This is really cool stuff. I hope it stays this cool or maybe even gets better. And if I don't throw my hand up and get involved, and it goes the other way, well, that's on me. So that sort of started the whole ball rolling of wanting to get involved with the city, wanting to make the city as good as it can possibly be. And I got on the Parks Board and then rocked on with that for a while and then realized, hey, you know what? I want to learn more. I want to do more. And so then the Board of Zoning, which was really an interesting experience. And that's when people want to redo their houses or they want a different type of, when they want to do something or change something or renovate and get variances with building codes and all that jazz. And then after that, I was like, okay, I want to go to the next level. I got to serve at a bigger level. And that just led right into this, where I am. So it all started a long time ago with a little girl at a park.
Love it. What inspired you to run for the second term?
That's a great question. Because we have done some incredible things during the first term. I think Mountain Brook is better than it has ever been. I mean, we're in great shape financially. You've seen lots of great sidewalk improvements and park improvements and facilities built and redone and updated. I want to keep that going. I want to keep us moving forward, and I don't want it to backslide. So that's it. All the motivation I need in the world is to make sure that we stay the best city on the planet.
If you were to be reelected, what would be your top 3 priorities for the city of Mountain Brook?
Good one. I have a lot of them. Actually, but some of them not necessarily in this order, but I think that we want to continue to improve our public spaces. In other words, we're going to do a great improvement and update to Overton Park. I'm really excited about the potential for that, but also build sidewalks. Connectivity is everything, so the more sidewalks and the more improvement of public spaces, the new Veterans Park that we acquired, not too long ago, give some love to that. It's really cool. If you've never been there, I'd go check it out. So that's one thing I want to do in that situation. The other thing I'd like to do is continue to support our city departments. For example, the library. It's a great city department, probably one of the best libraries out there for sure. And we have partnered with them to look at a new renovation. So I'm really looking forward to that being out there on the table. Our Public Works is a group that is the unsung heroes. They cut trees out of roads during inclement weather and all those things. I want to build them a bunkhouse, because those guys, trees don't fall during business hours, right? They fall in the middle of the night. It's out there knocking those things out of the way are our public works guys. And they need a bunkhouse. I mean, they have a locker room right now that's probably not even as big as this room we're sitting in. So we don't want them driving home after 3:30, 4:30 in the morning and getting hurt. So I'm looking forward to that. So supporting our city departments is absolutely a must for me. And the third thing is to make sure that we're being responsible with your dollars, your taxpayer dollars. Because one thing I do not ever want to come to the table or have a conversation on is raising taxes of any description. So being financially smart with our decisions so we don't ever have to face that. So those are the three things I would say that are definitely on my list.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Here's an interesting question. What do you see as the most significant area where the city of Mount Brook could potentially improve or grow?
Traffic. Traffic, by far. That is the most difficult challenge that we face, because you've got all this incredible neighborhoods and villages, and you just got a little bitty roads going into them. So that's a problem. But one of the things that I want to continue to do is try to improve traffic and traffic flow. We're doing a roundabout down in Mount Brook Village. I want to do others. And there's the ones I want to do. I want to do one at Memory Triangle, coming out of Crestline. I want one to go there. We're doing a study right now. We're trying to get federal money for that. I want to do one there. And I want us to look at doing one up on Montevallo Road, where you come from Old Leeds, the St. Luke's direction, into Crestline on Church Street. Because that is the craziest.
It is a bad intersection.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I think the traffic is our really biggest problem, and I think roundabouts are a really good solution to get us headed in the right direction.
Yeah, great.
You're welcome.
Okay. Do you have any interest in collaborating with other municipalities to benefit Jefferson County as a whole?
If it is good for Mount Brook. And what I mean by that is if it's going to be a value to our residents, then absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I'll give you two examples. We've already done that. One of them that people are talking about a little bit is when you cross Hollywood Boulevard over 280, there's that bridge that goes into Homewood. All right, that has been discussed for a long time, before my time, actually. And even over the past 2 years, the designs are there to widen it, to have a pedestrian walk across. But now it's past 2 years, you're waiting on federal funding, and we're waiting on our senators to come back with some funding that they had initially said, okay, we'll do. But that's a collaboration with Homewood, Jefferson County, and Mountain Brook. Designs there, it's ready to rock and roll. The next thing that we just entered into is we are partnering with the city of Vestavia Hills, that we have a fire training facility out behind Rathmel Park, if you know, in Cahaba Heights.
Yeah.
Vestavia came to us. We're going to partner with them and both build a new and improved training facility so we can share training our first responders with Vestavia. So I think that's huge. Those type cooperations with cities, I'm all for all day long.
Great.
Public safety is a priority in many residents. You've already spoken on this a little bit, but can you give us more about how you plan to support first responders and ensure they have the tools and trust to?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm their biggest fan. I mean, it's obvious. And I think if you didn't know, if you look at who has endorsed me for this, you had our police chief who just retired, Jay Loggins, back at the end of March, endorsed me. Our deputy fire chief, which was second in command, he retired in April, endorsed me. The Mountain Brook Fraternal Order of Police, like their union, they endorsed me, and they only endorse judges for obvious reasons, right? I mean, cops and judges. But they asked me. And so that just shows the relationship I have with them. So I have always been a huge supporter of our first responders by making sure they get extra equipment, by making sure they get the right funding. We've done things as a council like, help them get what they wanted with take-home cars for their officers at night, that just the police side. But we've also done recently, I got them an advanced level of training from a gentleman named Jared Hudson and his company that is a Navy SEAL, former Navy SEAL, and they train Navy SEALs. So they train police departments and military departments all over the U.S. And this past spring, they got to enjoy, every police officer got to enjoy this advanced expert level training that they had never seen before. And so that's the ways that I reach out to them. But then we have some paramedics on our fire department who are part of our what you call SWAT teams. Most people know that. They got the same training too, because they're there for the ride too if something were to go bad. So those type things, and making sure that we have almost, I think out of our, and I could be wrong about the exact number, like 62 members of our fire department, like 58 of them are certified 3-year paramedics.
Wow.
So nobody else has that. Nobody remotely close to has that. And I may be off on those numbers, but it's like it's 90+%, if not 95. But that just goes, that's how you support, is you make sure that they have the funding that is needed. So when any new hire comes on board, they're going right off and getting their 3-year medic degrees, which is, so in other words, for you as a resident, if you ever call them, you're not just getting a fireman with an axe and a water hose ready to bust down your door, right? I mean, they're all coming in there and they're fully trained medics that are just as good as any doctors and nurses, in my opinion. They're incredible. So that's how I would do it. Keep on supporting them, keep loving them, and get to know them, because I know them all very well.
Love it.
Okay, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about schools. How do you believe the council can best support Mountain Brook City Schools in creating a safe school environment and great learning abilities for?
Okay, so let's talk about the safe environment. The safety that the city does with the schools is we provide the SROs, the school resource officers, and you've got them at every school. Plus, we have a floating one that we added a year or so ago. I'd like to have more, but that's not a cheap thing to do. But our SROs they're the number one in the state. They're now number one in the country. They just get rewards all the time. So they're getting expert level training. So for the safety aspect, the city supports our SROs, which are incredible people. Since you're at the high school, Richard Connect is the guy there. And he's just amazing. And so that's the way for safety, to keep you safe when you're at schools. Having a child there too. I want everybody to be safe everywhere. As far as the other side of the table, our real responsibility is to elect Board of Education members. We don't get down in the weeds, and we don't do the day-to-day stuff with the schools. That's sort of out of our ballpark. But what we do is try to make sure that we hire the most intelligent, smart, thoughtful Board of Education members possible, because they're the ones that can bring their experiences and their talents to the table to help your schools. I'd like to go say, hey, can y'all teach how to write in cursive? But I don't, they'd probably like, no, we're not going to take that suggestion. Thanks, so. But that's how you really do it, is you just know that, hey, look, we have great schools. They are the gem of our community. If we didn't have them, and if they weren't as great as they are, we wouldn't be the community that we are. You can look around. There's plenty of communities that could be so much better if they had good schools like we have. They don't. So we're very fortunate there. But it's just to make sure that anyone you're appointing, and we partner with them too. So, from time to time, you'll see that athletic fields and recreational fields get improvements, gates around fields. So we will partner with them on that to improve facilities that will also benefit residents outside of the school. So you support them by just saying, hey, when you need something, we're there for you. Get some smart people to sit on your board and take good care of the students, and make sure that we got the best cops in the world walking the halls to keep you safe.
To wrap up, could you just tell us in one sentence, why should people vote for you?
One?
Just one sentence.
You got me talking. So okay. Very simple. Experience is one thing, but experience coupled with proven results is everything. Do you want to vote for everything? Then if you do, you got to vote for me. Sure.
That was good.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us, Mr.
Welcome.
Garner.
Thank you all so much. This has been fun. I've never done a podcast. This is cool. I appreciate it.
First experience was
I will come back every time. It's great.
It was great.
We'd love to have you back. If you're watching, don't forget to vote on August 26th, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Bye.